needing space to abide by social distancing requirements, it was necessary. Tacoma has made changes from its original plan after hearing from neighbors, including dropping the number of people allowed at the warming center from 55 to 25. They will also require people to make reservations before walking in, so there are no walk-in options allowed. And that's your news on Rainier Avenue Radio.
Join Rainier Avenue Radio from 5 to midnight for Sunday evening sound sessions. Jazz from the cabinets from Big Poppy.
That's right. It's time once again for Jazz from the Cabinets with Big Poppy.
Sergio LaCour's Love Lines.
It's Sergio's Love Lines with Sergio LaCour. Go into the phone line. Tell her who we talking to.
Sage Prince and Just My Opinion.
This is Sage, and that's just about going to do it for the first half of Just My Opinion.
K-Fox Nightbeat with Nasty Ness Rodriguez.
The beat of the Fox. K-Fox Nightbeat, Nasty Ness.
You know what? You're going to listen from 5 to midnight. Just turn it on and don't stop. DJ Alibaba. The Underground Surround Sound Star Time with Paul Pearson.
Thanks for tuning in. My name is Paul Pearson.
Sunday evening sound sessions on Rainier Avenue Radio. Trust me, you'll be listening the entire time from 5 to midnight. Sunday evening, your sound session on Rainier Avenue Radio.
Atlantic Street Center has been serving the children, youth, and families of the Seattle-King County area since 1910. We partner with families and communities to raise healthy, successful children and youth through services including counseling, early learning, youth development, domestic violence, and education support for school-aged children. Committed to serving the African-American community, Atlantic Street Center provides services and support for all marginalized people. Learn more at AtlanticStreetCenter.org.
You know you can't get enough of Rainier Avenue Radio. .world.
Welcome to Real Estate and Money, a half-hour program on Rainier Avenue Radio.world designed to help you whether you're a buyer, seller, investor, or renter in real estate. Your hosts are three local professionals who will escort you on your journey. Violeta Strash, who has years of media advertising and marketing experience and brings this extensive knowledge to John L. Scott Real Estate and all our clients. Tina Lombard, who is a mortgage loan originator with Cardinal Financial with over 28 years of experience, and Elsie Chaudoin, who has over 13 years of experience as a licensed real estate broker. And now here's Violeta, Tina, and Elsie.
Hi there.
How are you? Great. It's a great day we're having.
Yes, it is. It's actually a really cold day here in Seattle.
Awesome. Well, we just want to thank all of our viewers out there for tuning in to us on this day and getting some more information. And once again, we are Real Estate and Money. And my name is Tina Lombard. I am with Cardinal Financial.
I'm Elsie Chaudoin with the Elsie Legacy team at the Keller Williams Mountains of Sound.
Yes, and Violeta Strash will be joining us really quickly. But just in case you want to give us a call, the station's phone number is 206-290-9685. That's to call the station. If you'd like to call us outside the show, that number is 206-717-4490. So we like to start each and every show with a mortgage or a housing update. So Elsie will go ahead and give us that information.
All right. Well, let's start off with our weekly real estate update as of January 19th through the 25th, 2021. So in King County, we have available 313 homes at the average price of $997,000. We've sold 315 homes at the average price of $946,000. And in 2020, we've sold 253 homes at the average price of $772,000. Which brings our increase up year by year at 22%. In Pierce County, we have active 98 homes at the average price of $593,000. We've sold 210 homes at the average price of $481,000. And in 2020, we've sold 160 homes at the average price of $398,000, which gives us an increase of 20%. And in Snohomish County, we have active 107 homes at the average price of $731,000. We have sold 162 homes at the average price of $618,000. And in 2020, we've sold 124 homes at the average price of $507,000. and that is an increase of 21%. So I just want to recap. In today's article, today's Seattle Times article, they had an article that said Seattle home prices still climbing at second fastest rate in nation.
Mm-hmm.
So we are second to Phoenix.
Phoenix. Okay.
Yes. So for the last 10 consecutive months, we've been in the number 2 spot.
Okay, great. Now, what do you think that is attributed to?
Supply. Just supply.
Okay.
Yeah. And our economy here is great. I mean, obviously we've got Facebook, we've got Amazon. During this whole pandemic, I mean, I think Amazon's just really, benefited.
Okay. Do you think people just love the Northwest area? Do you think that it's the economy, the jobs there? Because a lot of them are still working from home, correct?
Absolutely. They are working from home. And that's the tech industry that we've got.
Okay. Now, when you say the number 2, is that on volume or is that in amounts, loan amounts, or property amounts?
I believe it's property amounts.
Okay. Is it the amount of units or the amount of
it's on average price per home.
That is very, very encouraging. Yes. So today we're going to be talking about sellers. Now, how do you think that information that you're just talking about here, we're number 2 in the nation, Seattle's number 2. How do you think that would affect a seller, or if somebody is just wishing to sell? How do you think that information can affect them positively?
Well, if you want top dollar, right now is a time to sell. So lower inventory or less inventory means higher dollar amount for you sellers. So if you are thinking of selling, give us a call, give me a call, give Violeta a call, and we are happy to do a comparable analysis for you and let you know what your home is worth and what we could sell it for. In this market, for every home, you've got at least 10 buyers out there looking, at least.
Okay, yeah. So, there's a lot of people out there and they say, okay, I want to sell. I want to buy something else. I want to buy something new. But a lot of them are very hesitant for whatever reason. They're hesitating on finding a new home. And they're like, I don't want to put my house on the market till I find a new home. So they're, because it's hard for people to buy homes because there's such a line of people at each house.
Right,
then,
absolutely.
So you're going to get kicked out of your house really quickly because somebody's going to buy it really quickly. So what is your advice for people who are trying to sell a house but then get another house?
So something that I'm seeing more and more of a practice is selling their homes to people that they know of. So not listing it at all, but doing it off market, which, I would not advise, because then it doesn't really open yourself up to the offers and the highest value for your home. However, if you want to sell your home and sell it to some people that you may know, or, the neighbors may know, so, it's familiar, you could also do that as well. So maybe not a for sale by owner, but more of an off market property.
No, I mean, let's say that I want to sell my house, and which I know I could probably get top dollar and I can sell it really quickly. But then my fear is I'm finding another home, and then being kicked out of my house because it's going to sell fast, but then I'm still in line with all the other houses. Yeah. So what I would advise is let's go ahead and put all of the priorities on paper for the seller. So if that means, hey, we need to rent back until we find a home, let's go ahead and do that. So let's say, I'm looking to put my home on the market, but yet I'm not really sure what to do. So I would say, let's start looking for that home, right? That you're looking to purchase. And then once you find that home, instead of going contingent, I would say, put your home on the market, look at the activity, and everything happens so quick that you have to be ready to move. So talking with the other agent to see, hey, would you take a contingent offer? If not, what do I need to do to still have my offer looked at? So looking for the right house first, and then making that move to then move, or putting it in the listing. Seller needs, to rent back 30 days or so, and picking that offer that then fits your needs as a seller. Okay. So I know you're going to talk about this a little bit later, but hi, V. Hi, great.
Problems. I'm so sorry.
Okay, that's okay. We were just talking about people selling their house and then buying another house, and that odd area in between. I have to sell my house, but I have to find another house first. It may take me 2 or 3 months to find another house, but it'll take me like 2 or 3 days to sell this house. So how do you bridge that gap? And so I was about to say it may be better to find a house first, you know, and knowing that you can sell your house, or at least have an agent on contract or a listing agent selling your house. And then I'm going out there and finding a house first, then put your house on the market.
I did it the other way. Sold my house, looking for a house, in an apartment right now.
Yeah. So how was that for you? Was that an easy, is that an easier transition? And why did you choose that route?
Why? Because I thought, you know, I didn't want to get into a contingency. I just wanted to have the cash ready to go. And I thought that would be the easiest way to go. You know, waive all contingencies, and be ready to go at any time, and not have to worry about, okay, then I got to sell my house.
Right.
And the timing of all that was stressing me out about, you know, okay, if I sell my house now, what do I need to do? Probably get a bridge loan, or I don't know. I just, it put me in a tailspin. So I thought, oh, this is probably the easy way out.
Okay,
Sell it now. The market is hot. I can wait and find the right house. And I just can afford to do that right now. And I don't know if the apartment move was the right thing based on what happened this weekend. And we'll just talk about that offline. But
okay. So
anyway,
what did you have a prepared segment in regards to getting your home ready for the market?
Yes.
Yeah. Are we doing? Didn't we do all that? Okay. But I think we're talking about trends now in remodeling, right, Elsie?
Yes. But before all that, right, let's decide on a contractor. You know, how do you find that right contractor to call? And
yes, we had a listener call and find out, wanted to actually ask about that. Who do you trust? You know, there's all kinds of people out there. There's the phone book, or, you know, Angie's List. How do you know that the person you're going to get is the right one? So if someone asked you that, Elsie, what you tell them?
Yes. Okay. So from experience, I've actually done this. And I've actually worked with a contractor that I really, really enjoyed. And I called him on the next project that I had. And he referred me to another contractor. And so this is a not to do. Do not ask your contractor for another name of another contractor, because he will not give you somebody that's equal or better than he is. He will give you somebody that is less than he is. All right. So my experience is that I had gotten a contractor that he recommended, and it was terrible. So in the investment world, obviously it's 1 out of 10, right? 1 out of 10 deals you lose on. Well, this was one of those deals where it was the ratio of 1 out of 10. And I ended up losing money because this contractor was not good. So, and after the fact of paying him, that's when everybody started coming out of the woodworks and started to tell me stories about this contractor. So I would say, number one, make sure that you do your due diligence and call references. That is absolutely number one. Make sure that he's got a reputation and a good one. And if he doesn't, have him give you references of the people that he worked with, and you make those calls and you find out. Sometimes it could take like 7 tries just to get that right contractor. Now, the other thing is contractors are yes men. They'll say yes, 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 and they overpromise and underdeliver. At least for the most part, they are. At least from my experience, they are. So just make sure that you meet up with them. I would say the best way is get referrals from other home owners that, you know, have used them before. Real estate agents are a really good resource to use because they have, you know, contractors on hand, depending on, you know, which which specialty you're needing. You know, if you're needing flooring, painting, they've got them all in their database. Let's see. What else is there? Tina, do you have anything else? You want to add anything?
Well, yeah. Well, I know some of the lenders do have folks that we recommend, you know, but you're right. You want to do your due diligence and find out if they are bonded, licensed and bonded. I mean, there are too many stories where people get their friend who's a friend who's a friend, and those people will build a whole new wing to your house. None of them have permits. So
Absolutely.
When you refinance or something, you're in trouble. Or if something falls down, so they should falter because of not so good workmanship, and then you try to get somebody to fix it, they'll say, "Who put this here?" And then you're going to spend a lot more money. So make sure they're licensed and bonded. And if they just give you some numbers, that's nothing. Actually check those licenses and bonding. And you're right, from a realtor, if you know the builder who built your house, you know, try to reach out to them and find out. You know, there are some agencies, there's some real estate organizations and different. Am I correct that you can actually call? You can call up even the Home Depots or what have you, and have who do they have a list of vendors? But don't just go for the person down the street. You know this guy from another country down the street who needs some money. He can put the concrete down because he did that in his country for years. You know, if they mess up, you're in double trouble. And if they get injured on the property, you're in triple double trouble. So make sure. And then if you do get a list of people, highly recommend them so that you can put the word out. But you know, I've done things through Thumbtack. I've done things through Angie's List. And I've done stuff through realtors, but you know, the thing that's really good about the Angie's List and the Thumbtacks is that they do have referrals and references, and you can actually check up on them.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
And
Go ahead, B.
Another thing I wanted to add, you guys, is that if you find, you know, a referral from somebody, and ask them exactly who it was, who are the team members on that particular project, because they have a number of different people, you know, subs that they hire, these companies, and you could get, you know, a few other guys that never did that work at your referral's home, and then all of a sudden you could get screwed because they're not maybe the top workers in that company. They need a job, so we're going to dispatch these guys, and then you're going, but my friend referred me to this company. What happened? So make sure you know exactly the name of the group that came in and did that job. Yeah. So women beware, buyers beware.
People beware.
Be aware, cognizant of what you're doing. But yeah. So how are we on time? We're halfway?
Yes, we are.
Okay. Time for that break.
Tune in to Real Estate and Money every Tuesday afternoon from 2:30 to 3 here on Rainier Avenue Radio.world. Join your hosts Violeta Strash with John L. Scott Kent North, Elsie Chaudoin with Keller Williams Mountain to Sound and the Elsie Legacy Group, and Tina Lombard with Cardinal Financial. They'll help you navigate the waters of our volatile real estate market and offer you some guidance on how to make your hard-earned money work to make your dreams come true. Learn about current trends, get tips on financial matters, and have fun, interactive discussions about your home inside and out. That's Real Estate and Money.
Great. Here we are. So what are we talking about now? We were talking about the remodeling, but
I think you were going to talk about credit scores, the all-important credit scores. What's that all about?
Okay. Well, you know, I'm going to go from credit scores into applying. You know, I got 5 purchase contracts last night.
Woohoo!
You know, this weekend I got like I have 3 refinances right now that came in last night too. So I've got it's going crazy. Now, what's going on? Well, you know, people are secure when, you know, everything settles down politically. People get back to, you know, looking out the window to what's going on in my own house. And should I buy a house or refinance or whatever? So this week has been phenomenal. I have been working till 11 o'clock at night. People just come in like crazy. And the most important thing when you refinance and when you get a house is your credit score. So with a purchase, it is more pertinent because you're coming from no house or from renting into a situation. And now people are all of a sudden, I'm giving you hundreds of thousands of dollars for a house. So your credit score is the number one indicator. Most credit scores, there's Experian, there's TransUnion, and there's Equifax. And those are the big boys. Now, when a mortgage company pulls your credit, they pull what's called a tri-merge. And a tri-merge is basically all the three big credit bureaus, and we look at all three of them, and we use the average of the three, or basically the mid-score of the three. So that way we get a good idea. And then we also pull government records and different records to see if there's any bankruptcies filed, any public records filed, any liens, so on and so forth. So your credit score basically is an indication of how many people have given you credit. Have you paid back on time? Have you overutilized? I mean, do you have $20,000 worth of credit line revolving and you actually have a $20,000 balance, or do you have a $20,000 availability and you only have maybe $1,500 at a time that you use? And then there's installment loans like cars, boats, houses, personal loans, student loans. Do you pay those back in a timely fashion? Now, people who do pay back, of course, your credit score is higher because you're more of a good risk. If you have had anything derogatory, like late pays, haven't paid enough, or completely just didn't pay at all, and there's collections, there's medical bills, that sort of thing you haven't paid, that's going to be in your credit report, and that's going to be lowering your credit. Now, you guys are all familiar with gymnastics, right? Mm-hmm. You all see Nadia Comaneci and everything. At gymnastics, you start with a perfect score. You start with a 10, right? And then when you slip up, maybe you get a 9.5. When you fall off the beam, you get like maybe a 6, okay? So you start with a perfect score and you go backwards. With credit scores like TransUnion, Equifax, and Experian, it starts like that. Everybody's board perfect. Then we slide, okay? So some people, they don't pay their mortgage, they don't pay their car, they miss 1 or 2 JCPenney accounts, and then pretty soon their score is like 680, 650, 580, okay? So for mortgage lenders, we always look for a minimum score. In some cases, 620 is the minimum. Some cases, 690 is the minimum for conventional. Some cases, 740 is the minimum for jumbo loans. So depending on your program, your credit score is going to be either higher or lower. Now, you've got some people who say stuff like, well, I've got on Credit Karma and freecreditreport.com, and I know my credit score is 619 or something. And I always tell them, if you're below 600, the first culprit I think about is Credit Karma or creditreport.com. Because a lot of times those credit bureaus, they put things on there that would not be reported by the big boys. Okay? So be very careful. You don't really need to pull your credit and pull your credit and pull your credit so your credit score is. Have you paid your bills? Your credit score is good. Okay? If there's something that you did wrong, your credit scores are probably lower. Okay, so you don't need to go to the credit reports and all that kind of stuff. You can go to Experian, TransUnion, or Equifax once a year. You can just Google them and say, send me a free credit report once a year. There are some banks like Chase, Expedia, and Charles Schwab. There's different account banks that you can go to, and they actually give you credit reports from your account as part of their banking services. That's also a very good option. But basically, if you pay your bills, you're going to be okay. If you have 1 or 2 lates, you may be all right. If you were just never paying anybody back, okay, you should be applying for a house, because if you don't pay that back, you're out. Okay.
You are a bad creditor.
Gosh. Now, some people, their credit scores, there's something happened. Maybe they were sick. Okay. Maybe they were sick for 3 or 4 months. Maybe they went through a divorce. Maybe they just had a baby. Maybe something happened. There was a death in the family. Or they lost their job due to economic downturns or something major, or COVID. They couldn't go back to work because of COVID. So there are situations where your credit scores are going to be hit, and that's not your fault. Or, I've had some women who were fleeing from an abusive relationship, and they had to flee different states to get to where they were. And in the interim, they missed payments because they weren't getting their mail. So be encouraged. There are some programs like FHA, and if you're a vet, VA. There are some programs where we don't care what your score is. We just want to know your story. If you did have a bankruptcy because you were, a death, or you were taking care of somebody who was sick, we will say, hey, forget the credit score. What happened? Have you paid your bills on time before that and afterwards? So a lot of times credit scores aren't the end all. If I say, hey, you had a bankruptcy 4 years ago, what's that about? And you're like, why should I pay them back? What are they going to do? Okay, you're not going to get the loan. But if I say, what happened? You're like, I had to take care of my mother. She was sick. I had to leave my work, and we had to move in with her, and I just couldn't do something, so I needed the protection of bankruptcy. That's looked at differently. And then, of course, we would ask for records of that. So your credit score isn't the end all, but it is an important thing. The last thing I'll say about credit score is if you have a 780 credit score or an 820 credit score, okay, something extremely high, you're very, very competitive. You can compete for a very low rate because the banks know you're going to pay on time. They want your business. They will give you an extra sweet rate. If you're pulling like maybe a 701 and you're conventional, you're not going to get the same rate as somebody with a 780 or 800 score. Okay, so sometimes with conventional, your credit score is going to dictate your rate and your mortgage insurance. With FHA, with the government loans, whatever, if you qualify, it's all 3.25. Okay, so I have a lot of people. I'll say, okay, your rate is 2.875. They'll say, well, my coworker got 2.3. And no way, you're scamming. I'm like, well, his score was 801. Yours is 697. So you can't be coming in here, trying to dictate. So the danger that a lot of people get into, I give them a rate, I give them like a 2.375, and they're at the water tank at their office. They're like, yeah, well, I got a 2.35. And some little hot shot comes along and says, well, I got a 2.1. And then they come back to me and say, no way, you're cheating me. This person's at 2.1. Well, you can't do that because it has to do with the value of your house. It has to do with the amount of money you're putting down. It has to do with your job security, the amount of reserves. If you have $5,000 in the bank or $500,000 in retirement, it has to do with your credit score. So credit score does dictate a lot as far as whether you get the loan and what the price of the loan is, and whether you're going to be paying a certain amount for mortgage insurance. So if you need help with your credit score because you are chronically always late, okay, sometimes you need to go to a credit repair or a credit restoration company. And I'm sure these ladies and myself, we have credit restoration companies that will help you get over that hump. Sometimes people chronically, they're going to the doctors and they never paid their co-pays. And so they've paid everybody else on time, but they've got these $20 bills following them and it's on collections, So there's sometimes where you just can't get over a hump, or maybe, co-sign for your son. Mm-hmm. Never co-sign for your son. Never co-sign for your sister. Never co-sign for somebody who cannot get a loan. Come on, somebody. I can't tell you how many people in our culture, he couldn't get the loan because his credit's bad, so I co-signed. Well, guess what? Now you can't get the loan because he's never paid the car you paid on. Mm-hmm. Never co-sign for anybody. I don't care how desperate they are. The bank won't give them money. Who are you in a position to give them? When a bank that has $80 million worth of deposits at that one branch will not give that guy $5,000, why would you? Okay? That's the number one thing I see with elderly people over 60 years old. They paid everybody on time. And then their son got some hot rod paying $780 a month. And he's 23 years old and co-signed on it. And they're like, why can't I get a house? Because you're paying for a car. Go live in a car, So that's another thing that's going to take your credit score down. Do not co-sign for anybody because you have no control over their lives and what will happen. Okay?
Yes. Hey,
what if your mom asks you? You going to turn your mom down?
No, that's the loan officer in me. Let me tell you, that's the loan officer in me. Yo, can you turn your mom down? Oh, yeah. Yeah. Let me tell you.
It's a Filipino thing.
Yeah, move your mom in, but don't put her on your. Do not put your sister. Listen to me very carefully. Do not co-sign for a relative who cannot get on a loan themselves. I just had a lady who's paid everything cash. She's got millions of dollars worth of commercial buildings. She could not buy her house because her adult son with a government job is paying like $800 a month on a car. Okay,
$800 a month.
$800 a month. I'm like, this thing better be gold, rimmed, Ferrari, flies, swims, it talks to you. Massages. It's not. Okay, but she cannot. And she's like, well, he couldn't get a loan. I'm like, he's a government employee. Well, he just couldn't. Okay, no, don't do that. So I'm telling you right now, do not.
All right, ladies, we're out of time here. So,
oh my gosh, we are.
Yes. If you folks have any subjects that you might want to talk about, give us a call at 206-717-4490. We are Real Estate and Money.
Mm-hmm.
And following our show is on our live jam session. So stay tuned for them. We'll see you next Tuesday at 2:30.
With your host, Violeta, Strash, Tina Lombard, and Elsie Chaudoin. For more information, call 206-717-4490. That's 206-717-4490. Go to the Rainier Avenue Radio.world website to find the Real Estate and Money schedule, or tune into our live show every Tuesday afternoon from 2:30 to 3. We will help you find your dream home.